In this video, we're going to take a look at a couple Commodore 64s that I picked up off of eBay. I've had the worst of luck with these things, so let's take a look. I picked up this Commodore 64 off of eBay the other day. Let's open it up and see what we have. I can see it's really well packed. 8 cartons, yay! Machine doesn't look too bad. Serial number is quite a bit higher than other ones I have. Tabs on the case look good. This eBay listing said that this machine was completely dead and that the power light stays on whether the switch is in the on position or the off position. Now when I test it out, it looks like the power light is coming on only when the switch is on, so it seems to work just fine. I figured I'd give the diagnostic cartridge a try and see if it shows anything. I really need to get a harness for the diagnostic cartridge. I don't have one, and I didn't have one of these back in the day, so I'm not familiar with using it. So I have a hard time remembering which of the bads are bad and which of the bads are just lacking a harness. So I pulled out another machine that I got off of eBay in May that said it was dead. That works just fine, and I figured I'd compare that one to this one. So when I hooked it up, I've got psychedelic colors. I don't know what's going on here. This thing was working fine in May. I played with it a bit. Tried a diagnostic cartridge, and it also flashes away. I'm not sure, it locks up on the color RAM test sometimes. This could well be the PLA, or it could be the color RAM. I don't have a PLA on hand, so we'll try the color RAM first. My experience with color issues in the past was that 75–80% of the time it's the color RAM chip, so I figured I'd give it a shot and swap that out. I'm pulling off the RF shield. I hate taking these stupid things off just because of the large amount of solder and the large surface area that absorbs the heat from the iron. So I'll pull off the SID chip here just to be safe. When I recorded the video, I kept calling it the VIC chip. I know better, just paying more attention to the video recording than I am the computer. I'm gonna have to use a pair of snips and cut this chip off the board since I'm gonna have to use an old solder sucker to remove it. The desoldering station I have has never worked right. It sucks a little bit, and about half the time when you pull the trigger, it doesn't have any pressure. So finally I got fed up. I took the gun completely apart, couldn't find any problems, and then I went ahead and cranked it all the way up to its highest temperature, and it turned out that there was a solder ball just at the right spot where the heat wasn't getting to it. So once that got melted out, it starts working again. But in the meantime, I'm using an old solder sucker to take this chip out. Okay, I did have the right socket in stock. I love turn pin sockets. I'm not totally against double wipes, single wipes. They can kiss my butt. This socket that the SID was in is a great example of a single wipe socket. And you can see that in each hole there's only a single piece of metal, and that only rides on one side of the chip. I'm not a fan of those. They fail a lot. Turned pin sockets work a lot better. You can see looking at the double wipe socket that the pin actually touches both sides of the chip, both sides of the pin, making a much better connection than the single wipe that only touches one side of the pin of the chip. And then the turned pins, I think are the best of all worlds because they're round, they're milled, they're accurate, and they hold tightly and surround the pin. Sometimes you have to tack the socket in. In this case, it fits snugly enough that I don't need to. Still, I like to solder the 2 diagonal points first. It's looking good. All the pins have a nice little ring of solder around them, so I think we're good there. This is the replacement color RAM, and I should be wearing anti-static after the crazy month we've had. I don't have any of that stuff out right now. We got evacuated because of the western fires and thought we were going to lose the place, so I'm really happy to be here. All right, be careful not to touch the pins. Get the old Okay, let's see what happens. So as you can see, after I changed out the color RAM, it still has the same problem. And so I'm gonna have to take some time and order a PLA. While that's coming in, I'll go ahead and finish refurbishing the machine. It looks like it's had some heat damage in the past, and I'm not sure exactly what happened to it. I suspect somebody wasn't properly trying to work on the keyboard. You can see that the shift lock key is just melted. I don't know how the heck this could happen, but it's a mess. Also, the shift lock is stuck in the down position, in the locked position. It will not release, so I'm gonna have to take that apart and fix it. So I took apart the melted shift lock key. I found that the piece in there that helps guide the key was melted and out of shape, and that was hanging up on it and keeping it from releasing. So I just used an X-Acto knife and shaved off the swollen out plastic. That seemed to do the trick. The shift lock key works, and checked it with a meter, and it seemed to work just fine. While I'm cleaning up the keys on this keyboard and getting everything spiffed up, I just want to apologize. It's been so long since I've put out a new video. There's a lot of stuff going on besides just the current crisis. We had the fires come through here and came within 5 miles of the house. We were evacuated for a while, and for a couple of days, my wife and I were figuring there was an 80% chance we were going to lose the whole place. So that was pretty rough. Fortunately, the firefighters were able to stop it, and I thank them so much. Got a couple of shots here from what it was like, and it was nuts. I mean, it was like the apocalypse. Just the sky was bright orange and everything was just crazy. So when we were evacuated, I did think to grab the memory cards from the cameras and take them with me. That way I would still have them if we lost the house. Fortunately, we didn't lose the house. However, I did lose one of the memory cards, and I still haven't figured out what the heck happened. So this video, I lost a lot of the audio for it, and I lost some of the footage, which is why a lot of this video is just from one camera view instead of two. All right, so a few weeks later, got some new chips in from eBay. I ordered 2. They sent me 3. What a deal. Thank you. And this is a Philips chip, so hopefully a little less prone to problems than the Moss ones. Hey, look at that. It's working. No more psychedelic colors. So now we'll turn it off and run a diagnostic. All right, this is the one I'm wondering about, the color RAM. It's coming up next. And the color RAM looks good. All the bads should be fine. I just don't have a diagnostic harness. I'm sure I'll get to that one of these days. It's time to test things out with a little moon patrol. If you enjoyed this video, then you should check out another Commodore repair video here. As always, please like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. See you next time.